Hello, my name is Mary, and today we start our second lesson iOS developer. Today we will have practical class. And today is the second day of our iOS developer online free lessons. And on 13 August, we will start our professional online course. I guess that in August we will make 2 more lessons. So stay tuned. About black screen AI, so we at school we have like DevOps engineer course, iOS developer course, and machine learning. So all our teachers work in companies in the USA. They are IT specialists with big experience, so they are ready to share with you their knowledge. Also, we have YouTube channel where you can watch reviews from our graduates who has already got their job offer. So you can take your motivation there. And here you can see the companies where our graduates are working. They are hired by Meta, Google, Walt Disney. So just choose which one you want and go. And about our mentor, his name is Wylan Neely. So you got the chance to meet him yesterday. For those whose today's first lesson, please, Wylan, tell a few words about yourself. You should unmute yourself.
Hello. How's it
Hi.
going, everyone? My name is Wylan. I will be one of your instructors here at Black Screen IO. I'm an iOS developer. I have been in the industry on and off for 8 to 10 years. It's a very fulfilling career. You can sort of create whatever lifestyle you want. Programming brings a lot to your life. You can go work for a big company. You could start your own company. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You can work in an office, work from home. There's a lot of different options when it comes to software. It's a very demanding job, especially in the beginning, once you're learning the ropes. But once you have a decent grasp of it, it becomes like an endless sea. In the sense of the more you start to learn, the less you realize that you know. There's just so much programming, so many different languages, so many different things to do that the possibilities are endless. So
Yeah, thank you, Vylan. So yes, as I said, the course starts on 13th of August and it's for 6 months. And the course includes internship and working with HR to prepare for your interview, both technical and behavior questions. At the end of the lesson, I will tell a little bit more about professional course. And now let's start our practice and coding.
okay, I'm going to share my screen. Cool. Can you guys see everything?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. We're going to open up Xcode. The reason why it says Xcode 2 is because I also have the beta version. It's not on my desktop, but it is there. First, I'm going to show you guys what a more complete app would look like. So let's open existing project. As you can tell, I have a lot of projects. We're going to go to my main projects, and these ones are released on the App Store. You guys can check these ones out. Oh, sorry. I just tried to clean up my where is it? Well, whatever. I'll just show you guys what I'm working on right now. So this one is really cool. It is going to be an augmented reality app. So it takes a little bit to load up because it has a lot of stuff. So what I'm doing, don't copy this app until it's on the App Store at least, is any words you guys write, like bed, car, all this sort of stuff. Um, right here we have a text capture view controller, and it records what you're writing. And if you spell the word correctly, the augmented reality app or 3D 3D model will pop up on the paper. So we have controllers. This is the correct spelling of the words. Controllers are actually quite simple. Checks if the word is correct, if the word you wrote matches this word. And if that is correct, it will send it back to the text capture controller and launch the next destination view controller, which is the AR scene view controller. All this stuff is kind of like high level stuff compared to what we're going to be doing today, but you will learn how to understand everything on this page. So let's open up a new file, new project, and we're going to just do a regular app. Next, we're going to call it scenery or state. Yeah, state scenes. Because I have a couple pictures. I put California, Nevada, Florida, New York, just a couple of the bigger states. And we're gonna make an app that just shows a picture from the state, something really simple. So the language today we're gonna be using is Swift, storyboard interface today, and organization identifier. This refers to where your app will be stored on Apple. So once you push it to Apple, App Store Connect, you'll be able to see all your apps. Oh, I have a passkey right here, should log in. You'll be able to see all your apps with your app identifier. And so I have a lot of apps that are currently being worked on, a couple different versions of apps. So this one I just released. And so your app, how Apple finds your stuff is through your bundle ID right here. So that's what we're going to be creating with your organization identifier. Storage, we're not going to worry about core data or anything right now. I'll talk about that in a different lesson. So application. So these are all my apps that I have right now on my device. A lot. You guys are going to make a lot of stuff. So when you open up the app, it's going to have a couple different predetermined destinations. We're not going to be doing Apple Vision. We can leave these on. But yeah. So minimum deployments, this refers to the minimum iOS version that your app will be deployed to. So of course, the farther back you go, the more devices you'll be able to reach. However, some of these older iOS versions don't have all the newest tool like ARKit and vision technology and all that sorts of stuff. Since we're not using anything fancy, we can go back to like maybe 15. We'll talk about versions and builds at a different time. So phone orientation, this refers to if your app will work in portrait mode, which is up and down, landscape left and landscape right, where it's if you hold your phone to the left or to the right, and same thing with the iPad orientation. So over to your side, over here, it's going to give you, let me go full screen. It's going to give you a regular view controller. And over here is your scenes. So right now we don't have anything on the actual view controller, but let's rename this view controller to maybe home view controller. And one sec, this is in the way. So over here, we want this to refer to the visual in storyboard. So how we're going to do that is we go over to identity inspector, and we're going to change the class which it is associated to. So this is going to be called home, and it has autocomplete, home view controller. Boom. And so what that's going to do is if we would like to drop some buttons, which we're going to do, all the buttons we drop in here, we can easily connect over to the class. And so over here, the class, this side of the, this is going to represent everything you see here in text. So if you want to change stuff over here, you can manipulate the data over here and it will show up in your view, in your storyboard. So let's drop a couple buttons and we're gonna call them California. So here's one button. Of course, as you guys get better, we will worry about how it actually looks and try to make it good. When you refer to how an app looks and behave, that is called user design and user interface. So we are working on both at the same time. So we'll call this button California. Someone said they're from Nevada, so I pulled up a Nevada one, a Nevada image. You can also change the name over in the attributes area. So California right here. We will call this button Nevada. Boom. And if you would like, there's a lot of different shortcuts you can use. Since you can't see my keyboard, I'm doing Apple D. Boom. And it duplicates. And over here, duplicate. I believe I got another one picture from New York. Boom. And Nevada. I'm gonna call this one Florida. I believe I have one more called Texas as well. And if you guys have any questions, I can't see the chat. So just maybe Mike in a question.
No questions in the chat, no.
No questions. All right. If there is any, just let me know and ask. Down here, we will be the final one. I believe I did Texas. So these are 5 bigger states in the United States. I'm sure there's you guys from all over. We will just do these for now. So let's create a couple different view controllers, which these will eventually connect to and launch. So, you know what? Let's just do 4 today. Sorry, Texas. Boom. So we're gonna go over here and create a new view controller. Boom. And we can drop this down. Boom, boom, boom. So let me make these ones over here. And I did the same thing, Apple D, just to duplicate and save a little bit of time. So you can set these up anywhere you guys want. It does not affect how the code operates. It's mainly just for looks and layout, essentially. So before we continue, we're going to have to create a new view controller. We're going to call this one California, this one New York view controller, this one Nevada, and this one Florida. So when it comes to object-oriented programming, all we're doing is creating tons of objects and telling all the objects how to behave and interact with each other. So these view controllers are essentially a view, something you can see, control, and it's an object. So this represents the view that you see on the screen. And we can create different objects that you don't see, which it'll interact with, which we will in a little bit. So let's create a couple new view controllers. File, new, file. So as you can see the shortcut here, you guys will eventually learn these shortcuts shorthand, but that's Apple N. Boom. It's going to be a little bit different on your keyboard depending on what kind of keyboard you have. So this one we're going to call California. And if you want to shorthand it, you can always go VC. But generally, For industry standard practices, we like to spell everything out and be as thorough as possible. Controller, California view controller. So, all right. So see how this says import foundation? These are libraries. All these imports are, you can import different libraries that will allow you to access different types of code. So to access the user interface kit, you're gonna have to import UI kit. So you can import these are tons of different stuff you can import. If you want to deal with contacts, messages, that will give you access to different pre-built libraries and pre-built code that Apple has developed for us. So we're gonna go to UI kit. We're gonna go class. California it knows some, the code will learn as you go, and kind of try to help you do autocomplete like stuff, when it comes to different stuff like this. So it knows we're going to create a class called view controller. So let's click enter. And so these two dots will help you. It's called subclassing. So what we're doing is we are pulling from Apple's already pre-built view controller. Boom, boom, boom. And if you look over here, that was also done in here. So home view controller, we're pulling all the code that Apple has already built for something called UI view controller. And this is essentially a subclass of UI view controller. And it might seem tricky right now, but you will learn all this stuff as long as you just stay with us. So let's rename this file right here to home view, just to keep everything organized. There is also a simpler way to do this when you want to make a new file. So as you click Control N or Apple N, you're gonna have to figure that out on your whatever, I'm using a Microsoft keyboard, so my controllers are a little bit different. I'm actually using Windows N, but on Apple keyboards, it will be Apple N. So you can also, instead of going straight to Swift file, you can go to Cocoa Touch class, and it will have some awesome autocomplete features. So see subclass of UI view controller, language Swift, and we can go right here and call it Nevada view controller. Next, boom, this is where it will be stored. Once you get a bigger project, we will have different groups, different files that will contain different stuff. So let's just, as of now, we'll just leave it as it is. So I don't know if you guys can see the different colors, but this stuff right here is commented out. That is just for convenience. If you want to use this code, you just boom, boom, and now this part came alive. But for now, we will just delete this stuff because we're not worrying about navigation. So let's create the other ones and then we'll get into the overrides. We have Nevada. Let me move this thing out of the way. Whoa. Okay. So we have Nevada, New York, and Florida. I need to hide this. Cocoa Touch, the same exact thing we did. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Right. Florida view controller, next, and next. Final, last but not least, we will have a New York view controller. Great, great. And let's delete this filler code for now. So going snooper dot view. Okay, cool. We will get, for right now, we're not going to need to worry about the overrides. However, this launches it's pretty self-explanatory, but as soon as your view, which is the whole view, loads up onto your device, this will launch. So if we had some images, we could either change the images around or we can do whatever we wanted to, really. We can load other stuff up, launch an animation. This is a good place. This is where most people start launching stuff or start manipulating data, right in the view did load. There's we will get into the overrides after. Let's do this stuff over here though. All right, so now that we made the view controllers and they're over here, I like to keep everything organized. So if you hold shift and click from wherever to wherever, it will highlight them all. You can left click and create a new group. Boom. Well, new group from, yeah. It should have put all those in. Sometimes there's some bugs, but you guys will figure that out as you guys get coding. We will call this group the view controller, just view controllers really. Boom. And we will drop all of these in there just for code organization purposes. Boom. Now all those are in there. Let's go back to here. We're going to call this one, assign it to the California. Boom, California. This one will be called Nevada. This one will be called New York. And down here, we will do the Florida one. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but when I click this white area, this is actually a view, which is inside of a view controller. So you can see it over here as well. So if I click the view and I'm trying to assign the view controller, those classes are not compatible. So you're gonna have to make sure you click either right here, the actual view controller to assign the view controller, or the black tab up here. So now let's do the last one, Florida view controller, boom. So zoom in a little bit. Here's fine. We're going to organize this. So as of now, it's called constraints. So a constraint is where you want your button to be held within the view. So if you want it to be locked in the very middle, you're going to go down to the constraint button and alignment constraints, you're going to have either horizontal or vertical. So let's do both just to see what happens. So now when the app loads up, the California button will be aligned vertically and horizontally. But let's not do that. So we'll do Apple ZZ and undo everything. And for now, let's put these in a group so that down here, this is called stacks. So what you want to do is you hold shift and we will stack California and Nevada together. Boom, puts them together, holds them within a stack, which essentially is just a constraint holder. And we will do the same thing for Florida and New York. That way they are all held together. And so now we can even put a stack within another stack. And so we can hold them together like this. Oops. Shift as you click to highlight them, and we will put them in another stack. Boom. So now they're all laid out really well. And so now let's connect the buttons to launch to each corresponding view. So we're going to have California right here. You left click, or I guess right click, and sorry, you right click and hold show. So this is an action segue. So essentially when you click the California, it's going to show this, and we'll have a very cool little line which represents the action segue. We'll do the same thing with all of them. So Nevada, come over to Nevada, make sure it's Nevada. Boom, boom, show. And so all these different ways, these different action segues are different ways which the view will show the other view. So modally, pop over, it's essentially just different animations and different ways that each view translates to each other. So for now, we're just going to go show, the simplest one. Last one, we have New York. Show, and then we also have Florida. Show. And so before we test it to make sure everything is working, let's add a title. So we're going to go label, put the label inside of it, and we're going to call this label California, just so we know what we are seeing when we launch it. Boom. And so over here in the attributes inspector, you can, change the color if you would like, blue, whatever, make it bigger. We'll make it a little bit bigger just for the heck of it. Let's make sure it is aligned, so horizontally in the container, and we can also attach it to the very top. Let's just do it right about here. Boom, 80. So this is 80 points away, 80 pixels away from the top. That's fine. Boom. So now we will do the same. We're going to actually control copy or Apple copy and paste. So now all we need to do is change it. I hope that is how you spell Nevada. I am a computer scientist, not a geographer. And let's change the color just for the heck of it. Down here we can go custom. Here is the RGB sliders. A couple different ways to set up a color. We'll just use this for now. Nevada kind of reminds me of green. I don't know why, but we'll do Nevada for green. And we'll also remember to add the constraints horizontally. And we'll make it the same. So we'll do 80, just like the other one. Boom. New York, let's paste. Control V, California. And New York. Boom. New York reminds me of the color red for some reason. And so we can change the darkness. Let's go really bright. And if you want, you change the alignment of your text and all sorts of things. Highlighted, all sorts of things. Let's do bold. So it looks a little cleaner. All right. I guess we could do that with this too. Bold. Cool. So now we can read each of them a little bit better. Copy and paste. So when you copy and paste a object or an asset, there's tons of different words for these, but these are essentially label objects, UI label. When you copy and paste it, it won't copy the constraints, but it will copy all the attributes. So the constraints refer to where it is located within its hierarchy. So for the last one, Florida reminds me of the color yellow. So let's change it to yellow. Maybe a little darker yellow just so it pops up a little bit better. And of course, let's change it to boom. Horizontally and 80. Cool. I almost forgot to add constraints for the stack view that we made earlier. So let's just center it both ways. Boom. So we are going to, sorry, there's a lot of stuff in my way. All right, so we don't want it on my phone. These are all the simulators that I have on my computer right now. Any of them, I like to test on a bunch of different types of iPhones just to make sure they work at different sizes, smaller ones, plus bigger ones, all different sizes. And you're going to want to test your app in all different screen simulators just to make sure it looks good and functions on all different types of iPhones. For now, we'll just go basic 15. Bada bing. Cool. And it's building right now. Plan a deferred task. Bada boo, bada bing. And let's quit. Let's get out of full screen so we can see the simulator. Cool. Any questions?
How long does this take to learn?
Um, I learned it in about 6 months, like maybe even 5 months.
5 months? Okay. Thank you.
But I was doing it 8 hours, 5 days a week, maybe a
Oh,
little
8 hours.
longer.
Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
got you.
All right. The first time you load up your app, it takes the longest to run, but generally after it indexes everything into the phone, the next time you run it, it will be a lot faster. So let's click the California button. Boom, California's there. Swipe that. Now Nevada's coming up, New York, and Florida. Cool. So before the project started, I got a couple different state images, and let's put them in our project. So over here we have the assets folder. This can hold music, colors. If you have certain colors that you want your app to be, you can do custom colors.
Question from the chat. Is there a replay?
What do you mean replay?
I don't know, just question from the chat.
I think, yeah, all this will be recorded. So if I'm going a little bit fast, you'll be able to have the video after and go through it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we will send you the recording of the lesson on your email. Check spam folder tomorrow. Thank you.
All right. So drop them in here. Boom. Florida. Oh, so I dragged these straight off the internet. So .webps will not show up in this is important. So in order to have your WebP show up, you're gonna have to convert the file. So we'll open it up to preview. This could happen when you're taking photos from the internet, and we will export the format. We'll change the format. Any of the formats that the Apple provides, the Xcode will read, but we'll just do JPEG for now. So let's call this from California. Boom, that's an awesome photo. Should show up in your desktop after it's done. Kind of went a little fast, so I might not have seen where I put it, but we'll find it. California. There it is. Boom. So we'll draw the California image, and then Texas image is cool too. We got a cool picture of all the cows from Texas. And downloads, we're just gonna put it in our state scenes, so it's easier to find Texas. I did not do that last year. Boom, Texas photo, and cool. So we got this one's Nevada. We can change the name right here. Boom. This one is Florida. And when you drop a image into Xcode, you have the option of copying it into your Xcode file. So there will be a duplicate of these images in your asset file. So all these images got duplicated to your asset file. So those will be all inside of your Xcode. All right, cool. So now let's go back to the storyboard. We're going to go back to full screen. And on each of these themes or view controllers, you're going to add an image. So UI image, or UI image view. This represents an area that can display an image. So we'll look for our California image. Boom. There we go. Let's make it a little bit prettier, a little bit bigger. Drag it to the edges and just fill it out. Cool, that's fun. So we're gonna attach, so these constraints, this refers to how close you want to attach the photo or the whatever object you're doing to its hierarchy. So in this case, it'll be attaching to the view, which is inside the view controller. So hit 0, 0 and add constraints. Boom. As you can see, there are still, this refers to missing constraints. So that means if we launch this app right now as it is, it would display it in a different way. It doesn't know, the computer does not know where to attach the bottom part. So for now, we're gonna make it horizontally, vertically, and then it should, boom, that took away the thing. All right, let's see how it's looking before we add it to the other ones. Run, replace. It's an awesome picture of California. Let's try it out, make sure it's working. Boom. Awesome. So just for fun, we got a little bit of time, but let's make the background of California. Maybe dark gray. No. Oh, that's the background of the image. So we'll go view and we'll make the background, I don't know, maybe dark gray. No, I kind of like system gray. So there's a whole science into how to make your app look and feel really good. I'm just showing you. So I designed this one. As you can see, there's a lot of like complementing colors. I'll show you guys a tool on how to find complementing colors that work with each other in a appealing way. And once we get into the program, let's see if I have another one. Yeah, so different ways to organize and make your app look cool. But we're not doing that today. Today we are just getting some functionality down, some basics down. So let's move over to Nevada. We're gonna add a new image. Image view, control copy, we'll paste these over here. Let's get the Nevada one in. Whoa, so my Xcode just broke. For whatever reason, every once in a while, lately, the quote unquote stable versions of Xcode have been breaking. I don't know what's going on, why everyone's pushing bad code. But when that happens, you can just click the reopen button and Xcode automatically saves your last. It saves as you go along, so don't worry about losing stuff. Looks like I lost those 3 images though. So image view, image view. And so, yeah, a lot of times, especially as a new developer, you know, everyone who's making these programs, whether it's Microsoft, Linux, um, Apple, they're just regular people too that know how to code. They're not like some magical wizard. So they push incomplete code every once in a while. As you guys saw a couple of days ago, something happened with all the Microsoft computers of all the Fortune 500 companies. So it happens. And so part of learning how to be a developer is to recognize when it's your fault or when it is something wrong with the IDE, which represents Xcode, the developer environment. Um, and yeah, I've been stuck on problems for a long time before I realized that I just needed to update my Xcode, which will probably tell me to update. There's always new updates. Yeah, we'll get into that later though. So back to programming images. Let's find the Nevada one. Whoa, so it is breaking. Yeah, I don't know what is going on, but something's going on. I'm gonna have to update my Xcode or hit them up. Data image, boom, New York image. Didn't even drop the New York image in. Come on. Get the New York image out. Boom. To convert this thing over. JPEG. And we can just do desktop. Cool. Get back to here. Cool. And the last one is Florida. I'm gonna fix this. I don't know what the hell is going on. But can't program when your thing keeps dying. Hmm. So 15.3, let's not use 15.3. We're going to use either 15.4 or 15.2 because this is supposedly the newest stable version, but as you guys can see, it is breaking a lot, which is very annoying. It happens sometimes though. I don't know what it has been, but something, there's been a lot of unstable code being pushed lately. I don't know what the heck's going on. But let's get back to making constraints and learning about code. Boom. And we're going to put this horizontally, vertically. Same thing with here. We're going to constrain to the sides. We're going to do 0. And if you want to skip to the next one, you just click tab. Boom. Then horizontal and vertical. I love that New York image. Anyone from New York, shout out. Florida as well. All these images are awesome. Every state in the United States has cool areas. All right, and boom, boom. All right, let's test it out and see if our simple little functionality app is working. And pray it doesn't crash, because I've never seen it crash like that, ever. So 15.3, newest stable version, no bueno. Let's get you guys on 15.4. All right, let's take the simulator out. California, beautiful. Nevada, amazing. New York, I love that image. Boom. And Florida. Cool, cool. And I'll show you guys one more thing. Someone's can we mute one of the things?
Now I will mute. Now, one moment. Done. So, Vylon, you should unmute yourself now. Vylon, please unmute yourself.
Found it. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
I'm
I
assuming-
can hear you, yes.
Okay, cool, cool. So let's talk about, we have about 15 more minutes. So let's add an app icon. So as you can see, this was a progression of my app icons. We'll teach you guys how to make cool ones. This one does not have one. So let's make one real quick. Since we don't have any built up or drawn up and we don't want to spend that much time, I will just show you guys the main ways that will accept anything as an app icon. So if you go over to here and click assets, you will see app icon. iOS 1024 by 1024. So back even just a couple years ago, from the beginning of time, in order to add an app icon, there used to be, imagine this box right here, 20 of them in all different files and sizes. And so Apple has really made it a lot easier to just add any image you want, as long as it's 1024 by 1024 to be the app icon. It's very helpful when it comes to saving time. So let's make this 1024 by 1024. We'll just, for now, we'll use this as the app icon. 1024. And 24. Boom. And we'll do, this is, I feel like this would be a cool area. All this. It's app icon. Save. Control save. And now we can just grab that. Boom. Now let's run it and see our new app icon. Of course, we're gonna, for your regular app icon, you would add text and all sorts of stuff, make it look a lot cleaner and more appropriate to what you guys are doing. But as you can see, here's our app icon. It actually looks pretty good. Especially if you just added a title right here and here, that would look really good. And so see how below this says notes, notes, no notes, date scenes. So in order to change that to whatever we would like, go back to here. Do that for now. Replace. There's a couple bugs in Xcode, so that's how you usually do it. But all right, we do have 10 more minutes. So the launch screen. So if you guys can see over here, when you pull up, There's some of these have screens and some of them don't. It's cool to add a launch screen because as your app is loading up, the users can see something cool. And when they're going through this sort of bookmark UI, your app will have something that stands out to the rest of the apps. So in order to make a launch screen, it looks exactly like a view controller, and you can add whatever you'd like to it. So let's add a title or a label, title label, call it states. Of course, with your own app, you're going to want to take some time and make it really pop out and look really cool compared to the other ones, to other people's apps. We'll do there. Constraint to the top and constraint in the center. And let's add an image as well. Please don't break. We will find out. Oh. Whoa. Yeah. I've never seen this before, but we'll fix it. And this usually never happens like this. So yeah, I'm gonna find the right stable version, look into it before we start our thing, but that was funny. All right, so we're gonna launch it. Our app is so small that doesn't really show the launch screen because it loads up so fast. But there it is. Cool. All right. And the last thing we're gonna do with 5 minutes left, we didn't really work on too much code today. More UI type of stuff and using storyboards. But let's do something with the code at least a little bit. So I'm gonna open up, go back to full screen. And so in the home view controller, if you comment out mark, which is double backspace mark, 2 dots, and then we write outlets. On the side, you will see a bookmark for outlets. So when your code gets thousands of lines long, you can write mark and you can easily go through it all. But let's drag the outlets over. So we're gonna have an outlet for our California. Pick outlet, call it California button. Creates the outlet, Nevada. Oh, so you guys see I went a little bit quick. I created an action. We're not going to be doing anything in the action today, but make sure when you are creating it that you do not accidentally click the action button. So over here is the different things. So over here we have the referencing outlet. When you do that little mistake I just did, you're going to want to make sure that you deleted the reference from the storyboard or else it will crash. So New York, here, outlet, not action. So we're going to call it New York button. And once we click connect, boom. And as you guys notice, I am not capitalizing the first letter, but then this sort of writing style is called camel case. It is very common. So classes are generally going to be capitalized, and objects within the class or all referencing objects like UI button are going to be camel cased. And there's a reason for that, and it's mainly readability. Readability. So when you're reading it, it looks nicer, and it's an industry standard as well. Almost all companies do camel casing. So Florida button. Cool. So now let's change the code. How much time we got? Let's change the code from within the actual class file. So we're going to delete, or not delete, but cancel out that so we can see the whole code. So this is going to fire right as the app opens up. So just to mess around with stuff, we're going to change the button colors themselves. So as it opens up, we're going to call the California button dot tint color. Is it hidden? These are a bunch of functions that are inside of it. So if you wanted to hide it or do whatever. So let's just change the title for now. Equals. So instead of it saying California button, we can have it change it to, so set title. We're going to call it Show California. And we're just messing around here just to get an idea. We're normal state. So let's do the same for Nevada. Set title color. And so for the Nevada button, we're going to just mix it up a bit. Let's do either. I think we did green. So we'll go green. Boom. For dot normal. So for the California button, we're going to be setting the title, which is changing the title. And for the Nevada one, we're just going to be changing it to green. This is just an example. Usually, I mean, you could do something like this, but we're just doing this as more of an example. So programming, it seems very difficult at first, but once you break it down to its building blocks, it's very, computers are not people. It's very, I don't want to say simple, but it is very simple like instructions. So it'll be button, change color to red, or is this text saying apple, yes or no? There's a lot of ifs, a lot of else's. We're going to get into the playgrounds and show the building blocks of programming before we jump into making more applications. This is just more of an example. So let's run it, make sure it's working, everything's functioning correctly. Succeeded. Cool, cool. Go back, show California, and Nevada one did not change to green. So there is a bug somewhere, but yeah. So for normal state, paint color. There it is. I haven't actually set the button color. I haven't set a button color inside of that in a while. So yeah, there it works. There it goes. And so a lot of programming is you figure out what you want to do and you figure out how to do it. So you know exactly what you're trying to do, and you just figure out how to do it. And we're going to show you how to think like a programmer, how to solve problems like a programmer. It's just like I like to use. I have a friend of mine that is a lawyer, very high up lawyer, and I asked her, "Do you remember every single law in the law book when you go to fight a case?" And she said, "No. What makes a good lawyer is I know exactly where to look in the law books, where to find the different laws. I don't memorize everything. Same with programming. You learn mainly how to look and solve the problem that's ahead of you. So the problem we had was this wasn't showing up green, so we set a different function that ended up changing it green. And we're going to show you all the main resources like Stack Overflow, GitHub, heck, even Reddit sometimes, or YouTube's a good resource for just simple problems, Apple Developer Documents. There's so many different resources, and great programmers know exactly where to look and how to solve each problem that they're coming up. So before we close it out, I know we're 1 minute over. Let's just, for the fun of it, set the New York button tint color to dot red and Florida. And just for UI sake, we're gonna, instead of change the title, we're gonna go tint color. I think we made it blue. Cool. Cancel, and one space can mess everything up. So I didn't put a space there. The code that broke all the Microsoft computers the other day, 2 days ago, was one wrong 0. Someone put a 0 in a random place and it crashed the whole system. So yeah. So that looks really nice. California, boom, works. Nevada, works. New York, and Florida. So yeah, just a quick functionality app. I know we had a couple problems with the Xcode. But I will update my Xcode and I will get the most stable version. So this probably, my version only has 3 stars, probably because everyone's was breaking. So Apple's really good about fixing patches whenever their code messes up. So for our class, we're going to start with 15.4. So when you guys start the class, let's make sure you guys have Xcode 15.4 because my Xcode 15.3 is not the best. It's breaking down a lot. So, all right, you guys, thank you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to telegram me or Maria. And that is the end of today's lesson. Hope you guys learned a lot. I know it was really quick, but replay the video and go through it as much as you like.
Violet, thank you very much for showing us coding and Xcode. That was really interesting and exciting. So let me share please the screen so I can show I can show our participants about the course a little bit. The recording of the video, yes. So how we will make to make sure that you all got the recording. On Monday, please check spam folder. So the school will send you yesterday and today lessons. Also, those of you who are is afraid that you will miss, you can write, if you don't you can write me your email in this chat, in this Zoom chat. So I will save your email and make sure that you got the recordings. if you want, you can also send your email in this chat. But on Monday, we will send everyone the recordings of 2 lessons. So now, here we are about the course. As I said, we had limited places on the course because we don't make big groups, because the course is practical, and we want to work like with every student, so we don't make big groups in order of the quality of the of the studying. And the start of the course is 30 August, 6 months. And here you see the curriculum. So lessons are at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Here is the program. So you see, we will work with Xcode, Swift, and as I said, you have to like have MacBook. Here is, guys, the special price. To unlock the special price, you can scan QR code, and when you scan, you immediately pay $49 for this price. Yes, just like be attentive that here, if you scan this code, you pay $49 to unlock the special price. For consultation with the manager, if you have any questions, if you have like anything and you need to speak with our manager to talk with him, you can like scan this QR code, and our manager will call you back on Monday, and you can ask questions. Okay? So I'm just waiting, you guys. If you can't now like scan, you can just make print screen, and then from the other device you can scan this, and also this once again. Yes. So we will have Viola will be a teacher for the iOS developer class, and also we will have the second one teacher. So you will have experience of working with 2 IT specialists with big and great background in IT, so they can share knowledges. Once again, please, this QR code for $49 to unlock special price. Here for the consultation with the manager. And here we go about the questions. So how long do online classes usually last? In 1 hour or 1.5. All lessons are live in Zoom, so you can ask questions. Also, lessons are recording, and you will have access anytime for the recordings. Also, if there is a new group, you can participate also for free with new group again to pass the course. So you can take the course twice, yes. Also, we help you to find the job. We make internship, we make interview coaching, and you work with HR specialists who helps you to prepare for your future interviews. And as I said, all the projects you will have, you can use for your portfolio and write down in your CV as a experience. And when you will go to background check, we will we'll help you with the background check, so your company will get answer from us about your experience. So thank you guys for staying with us till the end of the lesson. All of you will get the recording on your email by Monday, and please check spam folder. Violet, thank you again for such great and interesting and amazing lesson. So guys, waiting for our course. Have a nice weekend. Thank you, and Bye bye.
Have a great day, guys.
Good day.